Shantou the near side, it's a bobbing finish, 25 yards to go, Shantou lands the Legend.
Magician has got it tied up, and inside the final furlong, he's going to make it 5 out of 5, and a 5th St Ledger for John Gosden.
Gregory, last seen finishing 3rd in the Great Vulture Stakes at York. What did you make of that performance?
Well, he went a little quick early. When I saw the early fractions, I thought, we've just gone inside 12 seconds for a furlong. I think there were 3 of them trying to make the lead in order to boss the race, and they all got in a bit of a scramble together early on. So I think you're not going to do those fractions over the first 3 and finish. It was obvious where the winner came from, 20 lengths out the back. So to that extent, look, he actually ran a very good race. And when Frankie accepted the fact, put his hands down, he galloped out well to the line and after the line. So I was probably very impressed from a point of view as a hard piece, a strong bit of work than as a race. He came out of it in very good order. If the weather is set fair, that won't bother him with being top of the ground. So, you know, I'd be very happy with him after the race.
And how's he come out of the race, and what's his preparation looked like since York?
Well, I think, you know, you had a strong race in the Voltigeur. I've had luck going from the Voltigeur to the Ledger, but often I feel it's quite close if they get a hard race. And I've had a couple bounce. That can happen. But I'd be very pleased with him at this stage. He seems in great order and very content in himself. He's got a great mind. He's a pretty laid-back character. I trained both the mother and the father, and he's inherited all their good traits of their mental attitude towards racing.
And he was on race as a 2-year-old, and then just the 4 starts to date. Has he always shown you great potential?
Look, he was just a big boy. He's a very tall horse, and he just needed to fill his frame out, and to that extent we gave him all the time he required, and he's done nothing but shine this year. And I think he'll enjoy the distance, and we're perfectly aware it looks like being a very, very good vintage St Ledger.
And Frankie, he was on board your first Ledger winner, and he was also on board your most recent Ledger winner with Logician. Just how special would it be for him to sort of bow in his last classic?
I think the Great World Tour is going exceptionally well. He rolls into Deauville for one ride and wins the Jacques Marois. He's wins the Juddmonte International at York, so and Ascot Gold Cups and 2,000 guineas, and he won the Dubai Turf for us way back in Easter. So I think the World Tour is going extremely well, and I'm sure he'd love to cap it off at Doncaster in the final classic.
Arrest came back after a bit of a break post Royal Ascot at Newbury, and what was very impressive.
Yeah, we're very pleased with him. He took his race very well. He's in top order. But I think he'll, if that's good to firm at Doncaster, I think you find him probably heading to Paris for the Chardonnay, a race like that, rather than be trying to run him. He's a lovely horse, but he rolls his knee, and to that extent he'll enjoy more of what I call the autumn ground.
And Middle-earth, is the plan still to supplement?
Middle-earth at this stage ran a really lovely race in the Melrose, and I'm really happy with him. And he's a very strong likelihood, all being well, obviously your bloods, your scopes and all of that, to be supplemented.
And what did he show you in the Melrose at York last time out that made you think that the Ledger would be the race for him?
Well, I think Oisin was very impressed with him. What's that term? He hit the line strongly and all of that. But he came from a long way back and finished it off well. And he's been a horse we've always liked, but we've had a few niggles along the way and haven't been able to quite have a smooth run with him. But we're very much had that up to that race, and if he's in great form, obviously Qatar Racing have won the race before, and I think they're game to go. It's the last classic of the year. It's 3-year-olds over a trip. He's proven he stays the trip, which, let me tell you, the 1 mile 6 and the yards, it's a long straight. It tests the tactical speed and the stamina. So he looks like he should be able to answer those two calls.
And Arctic Cosmos and Logician both went from handicaps into sort of Group 1 company. Just how big an ask is it for them to sort of step up into handicaps?
Well, I think if you run a handicap in the style he did at York, it's not so. I mean, that was probably a tougher race than some of the trials can be. So if you've got the right horse at the right time and he handles the ground, then he has every right to be there.
And then finally, Lion's Pride also has an entry, beat Middle Earth earlier this season.
He did. He ran the other day at Windsor, and it was a little bit of a trappy race and a difficult track. And they went slow, and he pulled, and then he came on the outside. So it was against older horses, and he's learnt a lot from that. Frankie sat out on him yesterday. He was happy with him. I think it's a likelihood that he'll look at the race as well. I mean, after all, there is only one St. Leger. His sire was the last horse off the bridle in Massar's Derby, but he didn't get the 1.5 miles. This boy, of course, is out of a good source of stamina on the dam side, so we will have a strong look at it, and I'll discuss it with his owner breeder, Mr. Oppenheimer, and we will come to a conclusion.